So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. So a few days ago, some videos began circulating on social media accusing Nollywood veteran actress Patience OZORKWOR, popularly known as Mama G, of land grabbing. So in these videos, there is an old woman, clearly ill. She has a bad leg and she was crying with her children, accusing Patience OZORKWOR of oppressing them because the old woman does not have a son, she just has daughters. Patience OZORKWOR is wielding her power against her, took their land and is trying to shut them up. Oh, it's because they are poor and because Patience OZORKWOR is up there. If anything happens to our mother, holds Mama G responsible.
So now Mama G, have she started project in the land?
Yes, they have started foundation on that land.
Guys, you understand what they talk, Abi? Mama get land.
The only land and my father left for us. The only land my father left for me and my mother. The only land. They said if anything should happen to this my poor mother, I will hold you responsible. Let the world hear my voice now.
Calm down.
And as expected, these rumors began spreading fast. The script of rich versus poor, famous versus regular, it always sells. And so some people believed it and they started spreading these videos, accusing Mama G of trying to oppress these people because they are poor and because she is rich. Patience OZORKWOR had to come out to respond to these allegations. Let us hear what she has to say. In 2010, 15 years ago, I bought a piece of land. The landowner was aware of the sale. In fact, she was the one who approached my agent to help her find a buyer. Fast forward last year, 14 years later, the previous owner decided that it was a great idea to sell a plot out of my land without my knowledge. I got information, went and fenced my land. Next thing I see, the owner and her daughter on social media crying and accusing me of taking the only land that their husband and father left them. This is blackmail, fraud and malicious intent. I am marveled that they could viciously lie and castigate me for their own selfish interests. They are using my name to trend and get pity from people. I see that their plans are working because some people are donating to them and calling me unprintable names. As social media is not caught, I am pursuing legal means to vindicate my name because it took years to build and is my source of livelihood. There is so much more that I could have done, but I choose to let the law take its course. I am disappointed that some bloggers reposted and shared the content without due diligence. Now I say to you, meet me in court. Thank you to everyone who reached out to me on this incident. I appreciate you all. Now listen. The worst kind of fight that you can ever have with somebody else, especially as a well-to-do person or an average person or somebody that is seen to be doing well or a famous person, the worst kind of person to pick a fight with or to have a fight with is a poor person. And please, I do not mean that term with derogatory or offensive intent. I'm just trying to pass a message and I want to use a language that so many people will be able to relate to so people can understand what we're talking about quickly. So when I say poor person, I mean an indigent person, someone who is less financially capable, looking all wretched with mud house, crying hair or maid without slippers. The worst fight that you can ever have as someone doing well is with these categories of people. There is nothing wrong being poor. As a matter of fact, a good percentage of rich people started off poor. But the poverty, the problem in the poverty is not just the financial state, but the state of mind, the mental state of mind and the state of their hearts. That's when there's now a problem in the poverty. These kinds of people have proven most times to be very cruel, manipulative, ignorant, entitled, and unappreciative. There is nothing that you can do for them that they would appreciate it fully. In fact, they will see it as their rights. that God has blessed you so you can bless others. Some would even suspect that your goodness, that you are doing it because you are benefiting from them spiritually. You are stealing their star, their shine, and their luck. And they would always be seen as the victim. You that you are doing a bit financially okay, the odds will forever not be in your favor. Because naturally, people would see them as people who are being exploited or maltreated, while you are the oppressor. Because they are poor, you are automatically guilty. So whenever you are dealing with people, or whenever you are doing business with people below your financial or social status, you need to be very vigilant. You need to be very careful. You need to take documentation very seriously. You need to have an army of witnesses. Your evidence got to be surplus. And you need to anticipate acts of ingratitude and blackmail. Of course, there are exceptions, but that is the truth more often than not. You may think that they are loyal and humble, but their loyalty lies in what they can get from you, and their humility stems from their quest and their need. There's a saying that do not ever trust the humility of a poor man. Is not an insult. Now, this matter may go to court, as Patience OZORKWOR has informed us. So while we wait for the outcome of the court's decision, I'm just going to share my own personal observation. What I know often plays out in these kinds of arenas, because I have witnessed a similar occurrence play out before my very eyes, where these kinds of families that do not have much, in their periods of need, should I call it desperation, but whatever period they are going through, they voluntarily agree to sell a land. In fact, sometimes they are even begging the buyer because they need the money very urgently. And so they sell their land very willingly. And then years down the line, maybe the land was sold for 800,000 naira. And after 12 years, 18 years, 10 years, the land appreciates. And maybe it's now 6 million naira. Their eyes will start entering that land again. They will start feeling cheated, start feeling ripped off. They would want to eat their cake and have it. Some of them even go full-blown diabolic on the buyer, where the buyer will go to the land. Before the next day, the buyer's leg will swell up. A lot of crazy things happen. So I want to use this story to sound a note of warning, not just because of the whole Patience OZORKWOR situation, but generally speaking. Any land that you cannot secure, any land that you cannot fence, do not buy it. Yes, I know that there are some situations where you have to buy a land and you exhaust all you have. You do not have enough funds to do the fencing. I understand. What I am driving at is that have in mind that fencing that property and securing it is just as important as buying it. So let it be part of the plan, let it be part of the budget. Whether this particular case is true or not, that is my advice. Because you can hear Mama G now, she said she bought the land 15 years ago. She left it open and fallow. And it was when she heard that these people had intentions or had already started selling the land, part of the land, that she ran and fenced it. That is the behavior amongst these kinds of people. If that land was secured and fenced, their eyes would go away from it a bit. But as long as they are seeing that land empty, their eye could choke inside the land. So please, I'm talking to diasporans or even Nigerians, those that live back home, that are acquiring properties or have intention of buying lands, especially communal lands in the village, in rural areas. Please make provision to fence and secure that land. In fact, I will not even restrict it to communal lands, because these kinds of things happen a lot. It's rampant, even in lands in the city. Please, when you buy your land, ensure that you fence it off immediately, put the gates, lock up the property, ensure that you register that property. If it's a survey plan, you register it. If it's the deed itself, register it. Let the name on that property be written as yours. Don't just buy a land, take receipts, and take your document home. Talking about receipts, make sure that you get evidence of payment. Even if that land is 50,000 naira, get evidence that shows that title was transferred, evidence of sale, and evidence that consideration was paid for acquisition of that land is very paramount. Because in this case now, if there is no evidence of receipts to show that payment was made, and if those documents, if the documents of the land were not handed over to Patience OZORKWOR, then she has no case. There is no way to prove that there was a legal acquisition of that property. So these pieces of advice that I'm giving is not an automatic declaration of innocence or guilt on the part of any person, but it's to use this situation as a general learning point to every person. Aside from having your receipt of purchase, please also ensure that that transaction has witnesses. Not just anybody that you call and say, come and sign here as witness. No. If it is a communal land you're buying or a land in a rural area, let there be witnesses, relatives from that other side that you're buying from, your own relatives, even neutral people. The more witnesses you have, the better. Let there be witnesses. In fact, technology has even made it better. You can even video the consummation process, where that person, the seller, will be asked in their native language whether they understand the meaning of what they're doing. Have it on video if possible, because human beings are very funny and human beings are very wicked. An experience has shown me that when a human being wants to deal with you, they have amnesia of what you've done for them in the past. They operate with the now and they finish you. Sometime many years ago, I had done a video on buying a property in Nigeria, acquiring a land. I don't even know if that video is still up there. Maybe I'll find time to do another video and tell you everything that needs to be done. But please take note of these. Whenever you're acquiring a property, you must have the automatic assumption that a dispute will arise, that it will become contentious. If it doesn't, good and well for you. But you have to prepare as though a dispute will arise. So when it does, you'll be ready. Another thing that can lead to this kind of situation where a landowner, after selling their land, will now come back and their eyes will still be on the land is when you have left the land fallow. You don't show any interest, or you don't visit, you don't show activity on the land. They'll be like, hey, maybe this person has forgotten, as if it's possible to forget your property. So it's always very advisable that when you acquire a land, you put somebody, an agent of yours, in that property, either to be cultivating it, to be planting and harvesting. Let there be activity in that property, so people would know that the owner's eyes is still on this property and they will stay clear. So these things really do happen a lot. And it's looking very pronounced because it's a celebrity, it's a public figure that is entwined in this, but it is very rampant. So we have to be very careful. For as far as I know, in the last 30 years or more that Patience OZORKWOR has been in public eyes and has been in Nollywood, I have never for one day heard of any scandal where she's involved. So this whole thing was pretty strange to the ears. But I'm happy that she has begun formal action on this. Let us see how it ends. Let us keep watching. Let me know what you think about this situation down in the comment section. Please share your thoughts, your beliefs, and your experiences. So our next update is indeed a very sad one. It's been just about a year since our dearest ever bubbly Nollywood actor JNR POPE passed very tragically and suddenly. Most unfortunately, his father has now followed suit. Breaking the news on social media, the wife of the late JNR POPE wrote this. Barely 1 month ago, I was with you in Enugu. Some days later, my mother-in-law called, asked how I and her boys are doing, and further went on to say that her husband has gone to meet my husband. I screamed, but had to quickly pull myself together as she started crying after I screamed. OZORKWOR is one man that genuinely loved me, and I'm so thankful I got to spend time with him, even though short, unknowingly in his last days. He passed an octogenarian who lived a good life, paid his dues, sacrificed a lot for his family and loved ones, and happily reaped the fruits of his labor. Reme, one, your mom. This is actually a lot within 1 year, but I pray God gives you and us all the strength we need to keep pushing, no matter how hard it seems. Adieu, father and son. You are sorely missed, but we hold on to the resurrection promise in John chapter 5. And then she put some hashtags. This is such an unfortunate event. Imagine the lady, the mom, losing both son and husband within a 1 year space. Certainly so much to handle. And we pray that the good God gives her and the whole family the strength and the fortitude to bear this loss. Since we covered a lot from Junior Pope on this channel, I just felt I should inform you of that incident in his home. So we'll just conclude today's episode with the story of this our brother here. Now in Africa, in Nigeria in particular, we have official and unofficial ways of dealing with our problems. And when they say it takes a community to raise a child, they mean before you become a police case, the society will try its best to curb your excesses, to stop your truancy. That was pretty much the practice. And although it's not as much as it used to be back in the day, such methods still exist. One of the ways that this African society checks this truancy is by ass whooping. The second way is by naming and shaming. So clearly, this gentleman here had stolen a bottle of tiger nut drink. For those who are not familiar with the tiger nut drink, let's just call it a bottle of soda. And so when he was caught, they printed this placard, made him hold it, and they videoed him and published him as a thief. When this video hit the internet, a lot of people felt that it was wrong, that nobody should be humiliated this way for stealing food. In their opinion, he was just hungry. He didn't steal television or a phone, he was just hungry. He stole food. How much is the food, by the way, that you have to disgrace him like this? Some people even started offering help, saying that he should be found, that they want to raise funds for him and help him out. I mean, look at some of these comments here. This one said, I would never humiliate anyone for stealing food. And it has almost 6,000 likes. Angela Okorie, the famous Angela Okorie, said people should do better. Don't humiliate anyone because of food. And another said, please, I wish to get his contact. This was what the comment section was like. But for some others, they did not agree. They were like, a thief is a thief. And the most armed robbers, kidnappers, and killers started off as petty thieves. In their opinion, stealing should not be excused based on the price or the worth of the item. Because someone that steals tiger nut today might steal a phone tomorrow, a car next tomorrow, and might be breaking into a bank. They argue that so because the country is hard, it is now permissible for a grown-ass man, instead of working, finding a job and feeding himself, to go into someone's house or business place or whatever and steal food, and because it's food, it's okay. They believed that this naming and shaming was good to discourage him and nip that behavior in the bud, as crimes are progressive and if not stopped, will metamorphose to become a danger to the society. What are your thoughts about these two arguments? And what are your thoughts about what happened to this gentleman? Do you believe that it is well deserved, or do you think that it is unfair? Please share your thoughts down in the comment section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you're new here, you're seeing me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye.